We are here with the legendary Kenny Bobien, singer, songer, producer. Kenny, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here.
It's such an honor, number one. But we want to talk to you. 24 Hours of House is coming up. May 23rd and 24th. What do you expect to see and experience during this event?
Well, the one thing for sure, I'm expecting to see all the house heads, because, the house heads, that's all you got to do is say house, and all you got to do is say somebody's coming, the DJ, the singer, whoever. I'm looking forward to all of that. It's such an aura of peace when house music is around, and it kind of shuts down anything that would try to happen negative. House has a way of just shutting it down and opening up levels of peace. I'm just looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing people dance, hearing people sing their favorite songs.
Talk about this song, Kenny.
I Shall Not Be Moved. There's so many things we can say about this song. Let me tell you this. One, we had no idea that this song was going to reach the pinnacle that it did. Every time I listen to this song, it sounds like we recorded it yesterday. And the request for it is just as much as it's been when the record first came out and first reached its peak. We had no idea that this was going to do it. None of it. We didn't think. This song came out, I think, in '95, something like that. And down the road, like maybe '96, '97, the thing just kind of took a life of its own and just started blowing up. And they was like, well, we want you to sing I Shall Not Be Moved. I said, you want to sing? But wait now, because people didn't call it, they didn't call it I Shall Not Be Moved. They called it Stand Still, Stay Right There.
Right.
They said, we want you to sing Stand Still, Stay Right There. I said, you want me to sing Stand Where? What is that? They said, stand still, stay right there. And people get words mixed up, so they were saying some of everything. And I was like, I Shall Not Be Moved? The song I did with James Perry and Deuce Martinez and them?
You did that with Deuce and James?
Martinez. James Perry actually did the arrangement of the song because this is a Timothy Wright song. Reverend Timothy Wright wrote this song.
You answering all my questions.
Yeah, he wrote this song.
I'm getting ready to ask you, what is gospel, what is house? Timothy Wright was gospel.
Timothy Wright wrote this song. I was going to a concert at Institutional in Brooklyn. I was going to Institutional. He was coming out and I was going in, and he looked at me and said, what you do to my song? I was like, I don't know. He said, well, that's all right. I got the check the other day. Keep on doing it. Keep on.
What? What? Timothy was something else too.
I loved him. And he loved me. I didn't even know he liked me that much. Before he passed away, he was getting ready to work on another project, and he said, we got to have you singing on some stuff, because growing up in the church and, coming out of the church, I had a lot of experiences in church that weren't always good, especially when it came to my music and stuff like that. But go ahead. We'll
not accepted. No, that's okay.
No, really.
Because that's the next thing I'm going to ask you is like, so what's the difference between gospel and soulful house, which they call you the king of soulful house?
The only difference to me between gospel and soulful house is that you will see people jump at the chance to dance at soulful house before they dance at gospel. It's basically the same. It's uplifting. And house, if you think about it, I could shout to a house song just like I shout to a gospel song. It's uplifting, it's encouraging. It's all about what you're saying, it's all about, and just like you can hear ministry through a vocal, you can hear ministry through music too. Like I can listen to something, like listen to this, I Shall Not Be Moved. You know who that is playing the bass?
No.
That's Lorraine Stansel's son, Kevin Stansel. Playing the bass, making it talk. Do you hear that bass? You hear that bass?
And it continues to live every time you hear it.
A live bass. And that's and when it came out, everybody was like, "Who's on that bass?" I said, "The same one that was playing for Walter Hawkins and them, Kevin Stanson, killing it."
And so, where does R&B dance come in? How is that that the same thing, or that's just a name?
I think it's just a name when it comes to music and you deal with genres, you know, because everything in music has first of all has changed tremendously. But when you talk about music and you talk about the industry and the business of music, everything's got to be this political thing. It's got to be this genre thing. Why can't it just be music that we love? But R&B and, you know, like for instance, they say, I don't know where to get this king stuff from.
Well, you're not the king?
Jesus is the only king I know. But look, I mean, you know, I don't, you know, God bless you. I love you all. You know, the gospel house and R&B dance, I think the only thing that sets it aside is what you're talking about. You know? And that's it. Especially when it, like I said, when it comes to house, when it comes to gospel, it's all about what you're talking about. It's like you'll be quicker to get up and dance to a house record than you will a, you know, like I went through stuff because people were like, I can't believe you in there. You out the church and you going in there singing like, one old lady said to me, she said, you taking Jesus to the club like that? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I said, well, I don't understand, because if folk can bring the devil to church, why can't I take Jesus to the club?
Historically, I have to give you your props, because that sounds like what Ray Charles had to deal with when he changed the music.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to DJ MD.
My girl. Hey, Mark. Hey.
Kenny, let's talk about the uniqueness of DJs. On that day, we're going to have a lot of DJs. Mm-hmm. What makes DJs different? What makes them unique?
I think their repertoire. It's their repertoire. It's what they play. You see, now look, don't get me started with the DJ artist thing, because I'm about to get, you know, real. And I love my brothers and my sisters who DJ, but don't get me started, because I've seen the music industry change drastically, because now, and let me say this, I think DJs deserve to be recognized. I think they deserve to have the opportunities that they have now. But I think what took the music industry, especially the dance genre, where it is to now, is because we took DJs and we've made them rock stars. Artists, and I love Kevin Hedge from Blaze, thank you, brother, I love you. He said something, he said, the music industry will never be the same as long as they keep putting the artist at the bottom of the totem pole. You have to put the artist back on top where he belongs, because this is all about the artist. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And now here's the great thing about it. You have DJs who are artists. You have DJs who are songwriters and producers. A lot of people don't know, but I learned how to DJ. Yeah, and you know what? No, and I'm gonna tell you what made me do it. Let me tell you what made me do it. Okay. Josh Milan pulled me to the side one day. He said, Kenny, I'm gonna teach you how to DJ. I'm still waiting. He said, I'm gonna teach you how to DJ. And I was like, teach you how to DJ? Boy, please, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a producer. He said, Kenny, you need to learn how to DJ. And I was like, okay, because to me, that was China. What's behind that board was China. I was like, I don't know how y'all know where to echo, how y'all know where to turn up, but put me on stage and I'm Luther. I'll tell you what I want to hear and what I need from you. But once I learned how to DJ, what did it, I was performing in Russia, in Moscow. I had to do a show for some company. The first show was at a casino. And then my second show, I had to fly to Siberia during their winter, by the way, and flew to Siberia, and I was in the club that week. I was the featured artist that week. And I was always wondering why they would have my setup in the dressing room, you know, my drinks, my tea, my towels. It would be the same setup behind a DJ booth. And I was looking one day and I was like, oh, who coming? They was like, no, that's for you. I was like, that ain't for me. I don't DJ. They was like, you don't DJ? And I was like, no. And I'm saying to myself, should I? And somebody pulled me to the side and said, Kenny, if you want to evolve in this, you should learn how to DJ. more money. You know, you can do a show when you're done. DJ. Then when I saw Alternate doing it, you know, Josh Milan does it. So many art, Joe Smooth, so many artists, you know. So, you know, but I guess it has a lot to do with the genre. It has a lot to do with the repertoire, what they play. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Like, I think one of the greatest DJs that the world, if they don't know, they need to know, who has not had the opportunity that I think he deserves is DJ Naeem Johnson.
Ooh.
I think he is one of the greatest DJs in the world.
Wow.
And I just don't feel like he's had the opportunity that he should have. But all you gotta do is say Naeem gonna be there. You know, you've seen it, you know. We have some great DJs out here. And shout out to my sister DJs. I love y'all too, you know. You know, it's become something else now. I used to get mad. I did. I used to be like, Monty, every time I turn around, they got a DJ, get the DJ, you know, rock stars. But now I'm looking at things from a different perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's actually an art. It really is.
I love that. And I want to thank you for your legacy, the work that you have contributed over the years.
Thank you, man.
I want to shout out to the mayor, City of Newark,
Yay!
for having this
Shout out to Ralph Baraka. We love you. And his brother, Mitty. That's my buddy. Mitty has been such an inspiration and such a push. I love that brother. I really do. I do.
You want to say to the people, tell them to come out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at the 24 hours of house music. Do I gotta sing for 24 hours? I ain't gotta sing for 24 hours.
That's a good ending. Nah.
Okay. As long as I ain't gotta sing for 24 hours, I'm good. But I can't wait to see y'all. I love everybody.
Peace.
Thanks for inviting me. It's actually an honor. I'm a little nervous still. I still get nervous about performing. Why are you looking like that?
You're historical, man. You're
Child,
part of
please.
this city.
I'll be ready to fall through a floor. They put a hole there. I'll go right through.
Yo. Thanks, Kitty.
You're welcome, brother.
Peace.